Hi guys, and welcome to episode number 63 or 64 of the Happy Knitting Podcast. My name is Julia and I'm coming to you from Germany. Today is the 21st of November 2016. So this is a podcast about knitting, and I'm actually quite nervous this time because I haven't recorded in a while, because just yesterday we got back from our holiday in Thailand. So I'll talk more about the Thailand holiday at the end of the podcast. I'll try to keep this in a regular format, so I'll have finished objects, works in progress, acquisitions, and then I'll just segue into a holiday and everything to do with that. So if you're watching for the first time, I hope that you like it. I do admit I am a little bit jet lagged, and I have been up since 6 a.m. in the morning. So if I am a little bit out of it, that will be why. I still hope it's going to be a good episode, but if it's not, maybe you want to check out a different one and give me another shot. And if you're coming back, then thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Before we jump into all the knitting, very quickly, I just wanted to say that I am giving away 3 copies of my newest shawl pattern. Hang on, scrap that. I did release a new shawl pattern, which was a brioche pattern. And it's called Brioche with a Twist, but I think I decided that I will just give away 3 shawl patterns of mine. So if you win, you can decide whether you want the newest one, which is the brioche with a twist shawl, or if you want one of the other 2 shawls that I've designed. So I'm giving away 3 patterns just cause. And if you want to win, you have to be a subscriber of the podcast on YouTube, and just go to our Ravelry group, which is the Happy Knitting Podcast group on Ravelry, and I will create a thread, and you just answer the prompt, and that will enter you to win. And if you answer which shawl you'd like, I'll just send that straight to you if you win, and if you don't know yet, that's fine as well. So I'll keep that open until Sunday. Sunday is the 27th of November, so it'll be a quick giveaway. So maybe just jump in, and good luck, and I hope that you win. I really need tea this morning. And my favorite Harrods mug, and I'm drinking some of my favorite tea. I love Twinings tea, and this is Twinings steamed green tea in the soft mint. I have like a box of different green teas from Twinings, and I really like them. So I have 2 finished pairs of socks. The first one I'll show you, I actually finished. I didn't take them on the holiday with me. I had them almost finished last week. Before we went away 3 weeks ago, and then last night I think I had like 10 rows to go, and then the toes, so I finished them last night. This yarn is a German yarn. It is by 1000 Schön, and you can find the link and everything on the tag. And this was one of their club colorways. It's called Verwegenes Special or Spezial number 2. So I don't think she will recreate this colorway, but it's a really fun sort of very speckled colorway. So I knit some plain vanilla socks. These are for me, even though they do feel a little bit big, so I'm not sure if they're gonna fit me too great, but if they're a little bit too big, I just use them as house socks. So you can see one has a bit more speckles than the other one, but generally I'm really happy with these. You can see the stitch marker is where I was last time I showed them to you, so I think I was like up to here when we went away, and then I just finished the toe last night. They're plain vanilla socks. I did 64 stitches on a US size 1 2.25mm needle. I used higher sharps, which I pretty much always use, and you can see how pretty the colors are. I think it's a really great colorway, and I have 2 more of this kind of colorway because of the club, and they're all kind of speckled and really fun. And the stitch marker is from Barbara from Knitting I Love. So yeah, I'm really happy to have these done. And this is just their normal sock base, which is really soft, but yet it's quite sturdy actually. It's not sturdy, but it washes really well. I've noticed that these have washed a lot better than I thought they would. Like I have a couple of pairs that I knit over a year ago, and they're still in really good condition. So if you haven't tried this yarn before, I think, I'm not sure if they sent to anywhere besides Germany. But if you are in Germany and you like this yarn, I think you should give it a try, because yeah, I think it's quite affordable, and they have fun colors, and it holds up really well. So, and you can see I did relatively long cuffs again, because I like to knit long cuffs on my socks. I did fish lips kiss heel, which is what I pretty much always do. and I did 1x1 ribbing for 15 rows. So that's my first pair of socks. The other pair of socks that I'm about to show you, you haven't seen before unless you follow me on Instagram. These were socks that I took with, this was yarn that I took with me to Thailand. I took 3 skeins of sock yarn, and the first one that I knew that I wanted to cast on were a pair of Felici socks, Knit Picks Felici in the colorway Rainbow. So this is just the Knit Picks sock yarn that I think most of you guys have heard about. I got this from a lovely friend in the US, and I've been so excited about knitting these, and they're so much fun. So again, these will be for me. I did 64 stitches on a US size 1 2.25mm needle, and I did relatively long cuffs again. And I did contrasting heels and toes in this blue colorway, which was a leftover of Cascade Heritage in a solid colorway. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's one of the Heritage Solids colorways. So I did contrasting heels and toes, and again I did the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And you can see these are perfectly matching. I don't always have to match my socks, but sometimes I do, and with these stripes I just wanted them to match because I think they're absolutely perfect and I really, really love them. So what else should I tell you about these? I think, yeah, because last time I knit Picks Felici, the socks were a tiny bit too big with my usual stitch count. So after the heel, I think after that blue stripe here, so I wanted to leave some room for the heel, I went down to 62 stitches. I don't think it will make a major difference, but I just decided to give it a try and see how it goes. And yeah, I absolutely love these. I think these are going to be worn today because they're just so fun, and I would love to wear them kind of sticking out of my winter boots because it's just such a fun colorway. And that's also why I didn't do contrasting cuffs, because if I want to wear them with shoes, I want like a full rainbow. So yeah, again, I am just over the moon with these, and yeah, can't wait to wear them. I feel like the lighting is really, really good today. Usually our apartment isn't the lightest, but now that it's winter, I've noticed that our apartment is a lot lighter because we have a big tree in front of the window, and obviously there are no leaves on it, so it seems that the lighting is actually really good. So I'm very, very happy about that. So this is the only pair of socks that I finished on the holiday. I had this dream of coming back with 3 pairs of socks finished. That would have been ideal, but yeah, it just didn't happen. But I'm glad I got this pair finished and the one that I finished last night. So I have a stack of socks that I can wear that are completely new, and yeah, I always find it exciting to wear new socks. So going into works in progress, I'll show you the things that I've worked on while I was in Thailand. So after I finished the rainbow socks, I cast on another yarn, and this project bag actually I got at a market in Thailand. I didn't bring any project bags, I just brought one big sort of drawstring, and in hindsight that wasn't too smart because I am using high sharps and they're quite sharp, and so the first time I saw project bags, I just went for it. This was the only one in this sort of style, and yes, it is very tiny. You can see I've pretty much filled it to the brim, but because it was so tiny, this was actually quite perfect because the few times that I did take my knitting to the pool, I just threw this into my other bag, and yeah. So I thought this was really cute. I think it was like $1 or something. It's not like perfectly made or anything. It doesn't have any lining, but it does have sort of like quilting batting or something on the inside, so it works really, really well. So I cast on another pair of socks. Yeah, this podcast is going to be mainly socks, just so you know. And this was another yarn that I was really, really excited to use while in Thailand. This is Bärenwolle, and this was one of her surprise clubs. I think she started it in September or October. I remember I got this yarn just when we booked our Thailand trip, and this is called Coral Reef. It's in her Barefoot Sock base, which is a merino and polyamide blend. And I just remember thinking this is perfect for our trip. So you can see it's a sort of minty blue-green, and then it has these neon green and orange specks. So yeah, it couldn't be much more perfect than that. And Bärenwolle, I'm sure you all know her, but this is her logo. So I didn't really know what pattern to knit. I was pretty much planning on knitting blueberry waffle socks, but then I was kind of looking at what other people had made with this colorway using Ravelry, and I decided to use a different pattern, and this is the Show Off Stranded Socks pattern by, I want to say it's Amy Campbell. I've looked this up like 10 times and I just can't remember her name. I'm pretty sure it's Amy Campbell. If not, I'll put it in the down bar. It's a free pattern, which I think is really, really fun. And I saw someone else knit this colorway with this pattern and it just looked perfect. So that's what I've done. And as you can see, I only did the patterning on the front of the sock. And I left the back in stockinette, partly because I wanted to save time and partly because you never really know with patterns how they're gonna fit, like pattern socks. So yeah, I like doing that. So to give you a close-up, I did 20 rows of 2x2 ribbing. And then here you can see the pattern. It is very, very simple to knit, even though I did feel like it took me a long time. But I partly blame that because I was knitting with DPNs and I just prefer knitting pattern socks on Magic Loop. So I feel like that kind of slowed me down a little bit, and it did make the knitting a bit less sort of flowy than a vanilla sock or blueberry waffles or something would have been. But yeah, I'm so happy. I think it looks absolutely perfect, and yeah, I love these socks. So again, I did a relatively long cuff, but not as long as I usually do. I knit a fish lips kiss heel. And yeah, so I have a hoe, as you can see. Actually, all of the socks that I'm working on at the moment are second socks, which makes me really happy because I'd like to get these off the needles. And I have started the second one. This is the stockinette back, and you can see you have the pattern on the front. And like I said, I knit these on DPNs, on higher sharps, US size 1 as well, and I just transferred these onto my fixed circulars last night when I finished my other pair because I feel like it's so much quicker. I really felt like the DPNs were slowing me down. I don't really mind DPNs for vanilla socks, but with a pattern it just didn't really work for me. So yeah, I have a little bit more to go and then I can start the heel, and you can see you can see that one sock has way less speckles than the other one, which is the joy in hand-dyed yarns. I think it's really, really fun. And yeah, it was so fun to work on these, and like I said, very, very corally holiday sort of colorway. And we actually went to Coral Island. So I wish I had brought them with me to take a photo of my coral reef socks on Coral Island, but pretty close. So yeah, I'm happy for about these. These are also going to be for me. Pretty much all my socks are going to be for me at the moment. But that's just for holiday knitting. I really didn't want to take gift knitting on holidays. But now that I'm back, I'm going to do a lot of gift knitting. I'm really happy that I started early this year, so I actually have quite a few things already done. My last project that I worked on in Thailand is another pair of socks. I should call this the sock show or something. This is yarn by another German dyer. I use a lot of German hand-dyed yarn. And this is from Piratenwolle. And this is her tag. And she's on Etsy as well as Davanda. So she has 2 stores. And again, I've used her yarn a couple of times. It's very affordable, and her standard sock base, which is this one, it is sturdy. It is definitely a sturdy sock yarn, but it holds up really, really well, and I really like working with it. I do believe she has a new merino sort of base, but I haven't tried that yet. So this is colorway 860, but I don't think she repeats colorways, but it's kind of blowing out. It's sort of pink with neon orange speckles, and I just think, again, it's really fun. This is sort of the thing that I'm into at the moment. I considered using this for a gift, but then I just decided I'm not sure if that many people are going to like it, but I absolutely love it, so I'm just going to knit socks for myself. So for this pattern, again, I did a plain vanilla sock, just stockinette sock. And again, I have a hoe. So this is the first sock. Just ignore the stitch marker. I'm not really sure why I put it on there. I had a reason. I think I was counting rows. But I knit the entire sock on our holiday. And this one just flew off the needles. I did 20 rows of 1x1 ribbing. I have a strange thing for 1x1 ribbing at the moment. I didn't used to do any 1x1 ribbing ever, and now I really like it. And for this one I did a very long cuff. I did 80 rows. I did 20 rows of webbing, 80 rows of stockinette, so 100 rows total before starting the heel, which is sort of my preferred cuff length. I really, really like long cuff socks, but I'm not always patient enough to knit them. Again, 64 stitches, US size 1, higher sharps. Did the fish lips kiss heel and a grafted toe. And the cuff doesn't look that long because I have big feet, I will say that. But these are actually quite huge, and I think I'm going to be using up most of the yarn, which makes me really happy. So the first one is done, and the second one, I'm sort of like 3/4 down the foot, down the cuff as well, down the leg. So again, I'm looking forward to finishing these. Because I've been on a holiday, they feel like they've been on the needles for quite a while, and while I really, really enjoyed knitting on them, I really want to wear them, especially now that it's like perfect sock wearing time. I wear my hand-knit socks every day, pretty much most of the year. Like, if I wear socks, they're always hand-knit. So I always need lots of socks, but now that it's really cold, I have so much more enthusiasm and want to wear all my socks. So yeah, those are my sock whips. I have one more actually, but I'm not quite sure if I've worked on these. I haven't worked on them since I got back. I didn't take them to Thailand, but I showed them real quick. And Pauline, if you're watching, please stop watching here because these are for you. So these are my sister's Christmas socks. And like I said, I have no idea what stage they were at when I showed them to you last, but these are opal socks. So I have the first one done again. I'm on the second sock for all of my socks, so I really just want to get them all off my needles. These are for my sister. I am a little bit worried that I knit the foot too short, so I'm going to reevaluate, and maybe I'll have to rip out the toe and re-knit the toe again. But these are, my sisters usually like shorty socks, but they did say they want a little bit longer, so for me these go really fast because the cuff is so short. I think I did like 50 rows of stockinette before throwing in a fish lips kiss heel. And like I said, the second one is already going. It's on DPNs, but I think this one might be ready for the heel. I'm not really quite sure what I did with this before I left. As you can see, these are not matching at all. I decided to not match them, and I think my sister will really like them because she's a little bit crazy, and matchy socks wouldn't really suit her. So these ones, as you can see, are on DPNs. These are Knit Pro Zings, again 2.25 millimeters, and the yarn is Opal in the Sweet and Spicy 3 series. Within the colorway is called Frucht Nougat, or number 9120. So yeah, I might work on these today. I just want to get my Christmas knitting finished. I have a few things planned. The most important thing that I need to knit is a shawl for my mum. I finally found yarn that doesn't make her itch, so I've ordered it, and I want to knit her a nice and cozy brioche shawl, probably the squishy shawl by Mina Phillip. I had kind of a design planned, but I'm not really sure if I have the brain space and patience to do with that right now. So the yarn is on its way, and I really need to get that knit up, but it is like I'm not sure if it's a sports or DK weight yarn, so that should be quite quick. And then I am contemplating knitting a second pair for each of my sisters, just because I like knitting them socks, so maybe that'll happen, but maybe not. And then of course that's also my boyfriend that wants socks for Christmas, and he's the hardest one to knit socks for because he always catches me knitting on them, and I try so hard to keep them from him, but yeah, so with his socks, I need to be extra sneaky. So yeah, I have some Christmas knitting planned. I also thought about the things that I want to cast on. I've kind of been writing lots of lists and noting down patterns on a holiday because I was missing my stash. And yeah, so when yesterday I had 4 socks to finish and like all these knitting plans. The only thing that made sense to is cast on something that was completely not a gift and a terrible idea, but something that I've just been suddenly wanting to cast on. I think like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, I started, and like people have been crocheting blankets for a long time. It's not like a new thing, but it never really interested me. And then suddenly, especially when we were in Thailand, I just decided I need a crochet sock yarn blanket right now. So yesterday when we got back from the airport, I think we were back at home at like 7:30 in the morning or 8. I decided to cast on a scrappy crochet blanket. And if you're wondering, I did know how to crochet. I did a couple of like crochet beanies and stuff like 3 or 4 years ago, and then I stopped, and I wouldn't really say I'm very good at crochet. So I looked up how to crochet a granny square. And I had to look up all the terms because I've done them before, but I can't remember what everything is called. But I figured it out, and I started a crochet blanket, and I am just crazy in love with this. I am so crazy about this. So this is just a giant granny square, and I'm just going to go around and around until it's very big. The crochet hook that I'm using is a size 4. Not because I have any idea about crochet, but because it's actually the only crochet hook that I own, and it's like a really old one. So I might get a new one at some point. But I looked it up, and apparently size 4 is actually okay to use for a Sokyan blanket. Maybe I would go down to 3.5 if I had the choice, but I just really wanted to get started and try it out, and I think the fabric that I created is actually quite good. I'm not following a specific pattern. I kind of looked up a few German blogs on how to do it, and there's lots of YouTube tutorials. So if you're interested and you don't know how to do it, just check out YouTube or Ravelry. There's like so many patterns out there. I'm not really following one specific one that I can guide you towards. But yeah, I'm just going around and around, and because I read this really interesting article about how to avoid your squares getting wonky. And I've linked that in my show note, in my project page as well, and I will try to link it in the show notes. So I'm turning the square every now and then to avoid it getting wonky. And I've just been using random leftover yarns. So this one is Somerset yarns, which I used for a pair of socks. This one was my boyfriend's hat. This is a mini that I stole from my sister. This is a sparkle mini. I feel like I need sparkle in this blanket, so I want to put some more sparkly minis in here. I have no idea what it is. This highlighter yellow I think is really awesome. It's from my friend Stephanie. This green one here I think was from a mini pack from Rosie's Moments on Etsy. And I like her minis, but I feel like they're really rough, so I only did one row. And then the pink I think I also got from my friend Stephanie, but I'm not quite sure. And then I put in my hedgehog fibers in the boombox colorway, and I have quite a bit of this, so I think I might actually continue with this a little bit more. But yeah, I'm just so addicted by this, to this. I just couldn't stop yesterday. Like, I kind of knew that I should probably just knit on some socks and finish some things. I was like, I just keep on crocheting a little bit and a little bit more, and I just could not stop. I'm absolutely hooked, pun intended. I think this is just so much fun, and I keep thinking about what colors to use next, and yeah. And once you get the hang of it, it is really easy. Like, seriously, I have no idea about crochet, but this is easy to do. I do realize that when I watch podcasts, I don't look at the screen as much as I do when I'm knitting, just because I feel like I still have to watch what I'm doing a bit more, but it's really interesting. I think, you know, like when you learn a new skill as an adult, I really watch like how I learn, and you can see the learning curve so fast. And like in the beginning I was just really awkward and didn't really know what to do, and now I can notice myself being much faster and my movements are getting more efficient, and I just find it really interesting to sort of see that sort of process, because as an adult we don't really learn like completely new things that often. So that's my random ramble about my crochet blanket, but I absolutely love it. I think I named it something like my crazy magical sparkly unicorn blanket, and that's exactly what it's going to be. And the fabric is really nice for someone like I don't crochet, so I always have like knit fabric, and this is just so different. And yeah, I absolutely love it. Very excited about this little thing, as you can tell. So I'm back. I just had to pause for a second, and in that time I also looked up, and the designer of the show of stranded socks is Anne Campbell, not Amy. So that's that, and with that you've seen all of my knitting and crocheting. I'm really excited about the crochet thing. I feel like now I can officially say I crochet, and yeah, it's really fun. So now I move on to acquisitions, and most of these are somehow knitting related, or at least somehow relate to what we all love. So I'll do that now, and then I'll just segue into the trip. So if you're not interested in either of those things, then please do join our Ravelry group. It is the Happy Knitting Podcast group. Remember to join the giveaway. And if you like this episode, I would love it if you also became a subscriber and you can introduce yourself in the group and all that, and that's really, really fun. We also have a shameless self-promotions thread in the group. So if you're a maker of any kind, please feel free to share what you make. And if you want to be enabled, it's a great place to go because there's so many fun things in the thread. It's really, really fun. And you can find me on Instagram as the Happy Knitting Podcast. And my Instagram feed has been very, very focused on my holiday pictures, which I've noticed that a few people unfollowed me when I started doing that. So yeah, there goes that. But anyways, if you do want to follow me, and I promise it will be more yarny and yarn related in the future, you can find me on Instagram as the Happy Knitting Podcast as well. So that's that, and let's move into acquisitions. First of all, I ordered some needles. I didn't buy any yarn in Thailand, but that is a huge lie, just because I ordered lots of things from Germany while I was in Thailand, because I'm just terrible. I'm just a wool pig, and you will see the proof of that probably next week. But I got some needles because I wanted to get some more high sharps, because I absolutely love them, and I just kind of rave about them every week because they're just the best needles in the world. And I wanted to get some different sizes because I always knit my socks on 2.25mm US size 1. But I've had a few incidences or a few times where I felt like it might be good to go down to a 2mm, and I only have DPNs, which I don't love that much, in 2mm. And also for my boyfriend's socks, because he wants so many socks, I have decided that maybe I should knit them in 2.5mm. So I got high sharps in both sizes. I got a US size 1.5 and a US size 0 high sharps. And these are the 80 centimeters or 32 inch. I usually prefer 40 centimeters, which is 100 inch. No, hang on, 40 inch, sorry. Cables, but they only had the 80 centimeters, and I got them at a really, really, really good price. Like usually hires are a little bit more expensive here in Germany, and I think I got these for like less than $5. So I decided, I mostly do my socks one at a time anyways. So I'm just gonna get the 80 centimeter cord, and I think that'll be a really, really good deal. And I got them from this shop. It's called Paradise of Yarn, and I'm not sure if they sell anywhere outside of Germany. But they were really, really good. I asked them if they could send them a little bit later to make sure that I was home when the needles arrived, and they were super helpful. And yeah, I feel like this was a bargain, and I'm definitely gonna try the 2.5mm on my boyfriend's socks. It was really interesting. A little side story about my boyfriend. You probably know, if you've been watching for a while, how much he loves knitting. He doesn't knit himself. He's not interested, but he loves hand knit things. He loves yarn. He loves buying yarn, to the point where he ordered yarn for himself because he wanted his own stash. And he actually gets knitting, like, to the point that it amazes me. Like, I said to him, I ordered some new needles, and he was like, but usually you use 2.25mm for mine. And I was really impressed that he knew that. And then when I explained to him that I'm gonna get one size up and blah blah blah, he's like, well, but that's gonna create a fabric that has more holes, doesn't it? Like, is that really a good thing? Because I want my socks nice and tight. And I kind of explained it to him, but like the fact that he really understood like gauge and size and all that, I thought that was really, really cool for someone who doesn't knit, and like I didn't really talk to him about that. So yeah, I thought that was quite impressive. So yeah, I got the needles. Then I got a lovely package from Minna, who's from Finland, and she had won their 1,300 subscribers giveaway, and she wanted to send me something in return. And just as a note, if you win something, I really don't expect you to send me something. Like, it is absolutely lovely, but please don't feel like you have to. But she wanted to send me a little something, and that she did. Let me just try to kind of gather the stuff that she sent me. So first of all, she sent me these cute tiny tissues, which I love these. And she sent me a lovely card, and everything is like movement related. Like, how much of this card is. But she sent me a Moomin notebook, and she sent me a couple of these Moomin candies. There's a couple more, I'm not going to show every single one. And then she sent me teas, and almost all of them are Moomin related as well. So this one says go for it. This one says sweetheart. And they're just so cute. I can't drink them because they're just so adorable. This one is Moomin Mama's Magic Potion. I mean, how cute are these? And she sent me a couple of these. And a couple of different ones as well. So I love tea, and this is so cute. I love Moomin. And as if that wasn't enough, she also sent me, this is called a Lifesaver Design Reflector from Finland. I haven't seen these before, but it's a little elephant, and I love elephants. And this is really smart because especially now in the dark season, like you can just put that onto your coat or bag, or I guess this would be really, really useful if you ride a bike or anything like that. And it's cute, and it will also make sure that you are seen by cars. So I think this is a really smart idea. So all this stuff, and I didn't expect it, and thank you so much. That was really, really lovely. So that's it for acquisitions that I got at home. I picked up a couple of things in Thailand as well. It was really, really cute again. My boyfriend, he's so supportive of my knitting, and he would go around and say, oh, look, there's a project bag. Maybe you could use it as a project bag. And I thought that was just so cute. So first of all, I got all of this in Bangkok, by the way. I got this project bag, which I think is the perfect size, and it even has a little handle so you could, you know, put it around your wrist when you're knitting. And how pretty is it? This is from Khao San Road, which if you've been to Thailand, or Bangkok, it's a huge sort of touristy area, and they just sell lots of stuff there. And it actually has lining as well. It's sort of like a plasticky lining in orange, but I think it's really, really awesome. And we actually got 2 of these because my boyfriend wanted to keep one and probably give it to me for Christmas or something. But I really wanted one for now, and also we were of course haggling for the price. So in the end we ended up getting 2, and this one I get to keep for now, and the other one I will probably get at some point, I hope. And yeah, I just thought this is a really, really good project bag size. Like if you compare that to this one is a little bit too small, to be honest. But this is a really, really great size. So I'm looking forward to breaking that in and using it, and I'm sure the leather strap will, you know, become more pliable as well while using it. So I absolutely love this. It is very neon-y, and let me tell you, the other one that I got is very neon as well. I also picked up, we went to a, it's called Bangkok Arts and Culture Center, and they have art and photography and also like art supplies. And there was this one shop, and they had printed canvases and tote bags. And again, they had really, really awesome little bags that I thought I could use for project bags. And again, these have box bottoms, as did the other one. So I think this would be really, really great for socks. And Kai encouraged me to get 2 because he is such an enabler. Again, this has like a clear plastic lining, so that'll be good for the needles. And I got these 2 prints because I just thought they were so pretty. So I'm really, really happy about these, and I think I have enough project bags to last me a lifetime now. And then the other thing that I thought I'd show you, even though it's not entirely yarn related, but it's really cute, is also on Khao San Road there was, and of course they sell lots of t-shirts and stuff, and there was one guy, he had the most awesome printed t-shirts. So I saw one and I immediately was like, oh, I really want to have that. Do you have that in such and such size? And then it turned out that he prints t-shirts. So they had this catalog of really, really cool prints and paintings, and so you just pick whatever you want to have on your t-shirt and they will print it for you. And I think it took like 30 minutes, and then I could pick them up. So I got 2 t-shirts made because they're so awesome. So the first one I got, it's a pug. It's a pug face. And it's so cute. They had so many pug t-shirts, and like also with cats and all of, like, they're so fun. And I completely just needed to have this one. So I got this, and the quality is really nice. I'm really surprised by how good the quality is. And then the other one, this is the one that drew my attention to the stand in the first place. And yes, it's a little bit stupid, but it is so freaking adorable. Can you see? It's pugs and donuts. I think it's so awesome that I had to get one. And like there were just so many good ones there, and I just decided to go for it, and I am crazy happy about these. So that's it for my acquisitions that were more or less yarn related. And I will go into our trip and everything. So if you're not interested in that, that's totally fine. I don't expect you to be interested. But I know a lot of you are. So I'm going to talk about a trip, and then I've put in quite a few video clips and stuff in the end. I think it's about 8 minutes or something. So you can stick around and watch that as well. So, I should probably start in the beginning. We do like to travel a lot, and I love going to Southeast Asia. So this was actually my second time going to Thailand. I had been to Thailand in 2013. I actually worked for a month in Chiang Mai, which is in the north, and then traveled around. But I mainly saw the north of Thailand and Bangkok. So this time we just really wanted a beach holiday and have sort of less hassle than we do when we usually travel. So we went to the south of Thailand. We went to Phuket, which is an island. It's a very large island, and it's quite touristy, but we just decided to go for it, and we stayed in that area for 2 weeks. So we started sort of like in the touristy areas of Phuket and spent the first week there, which was quite lovely. Like we had beautiful beaches and stuff, but it was also very busy, and like especially at night, but pretty much all the time when you went somewhere, you walk past all the restaurants and the massage parlors and the t-shirts, and you just go around like, no, I don't want a massage, no, I don't want to try your food, no, I don't want, and it gets a little bit exhausting. So, and what we really wanted to do was to go to different islands and all that. So we just on a whim decided to go to the very south of Phuket, to a place called Ravai. And we didn't pre-plan any of this. We just kind of figured it out as we went. And we just kind of went there because we knew it's a good place to go to different islands. But it turned out we completely landed in paradise. Like, it was such a beautiful place. We had a gorgeous hotel, which was empty. So we basically had the pools to ourselves, and it was affordable, and no one was bugging you. And there were like a couple of restaurants, but there were not really any tourists at all. So it was super, super relaxed, and the beach right in front of us. And we had different, like, even nicer beaches to go to in the area, and it was paradise. So we actually extended our stay down there, and we stayed for a second week, like the entire week. We just stayed there, and we rented a little boat with a driver. So they're sort of so-called like long-tail boats. They have a little engine, but you just kind of walk into the water and jump into the boat, and off you go. And it was really, really amazing. Like, that was definitely the highlight of our trip, to be on the boat. And we went to different islands and swam to the beaches, and it was gorgeous. You will see the footage in the end. It was probably the best day we had. And from there we also took a couple of walks to different places, even though the walks always kind of ended in us dying, because I like to walk everywhere, but when it's like 35 degrees, it's not really that fun. Anyway, so that was just so good, and that's why I did most of my knitting, because it was just very relaxing. We could have done a lot more than we did, but we just really wanted to wind down and hang out. And then, as I said, we went to Bangkok. It was my second time in Bangkok, but I really wanted to give it another shot, because last time I had been there, I actually was sick and just not in a great place. So we went back there, and again, the Bangkok jinx just struck, and I was sick again. But I was really only sick for 2 days, so it was okay. And again, we both kind of liked it, but we didn't absolutely love it. So we had a good time. We saw lots of things, and it was really fun, and we had some fun stuff happen to us as well. But it was actually a good sort of place to end the trip, because at that point I was quite looking forward to going home as well. And I mean, it's nice to be looking forward to going home as well. So we flew via Abu Dhabi and got home yesterday at 6 a.m. in the morning. And I do feel like I'm a little bit jet lagged, even though I feel better than I expected. I actually managed to get quite a bit of sleep, and so yeah, yesterday when we got home, I was really looking forward to being home, and then disaster struck and all these things were happening, and I was like, oh, I'm immediately stressed out again, and kind of wished I was back on the islands. But now kind of, things are working out, and I had a major cleaning surge this morning because I was up early. I had so much time. So I just kind of cleaned everything up, and now I feel like I'm in a good place to hang out again and kind of get life organized. So that's good. And a big bonus and part of why I'm also happy to be home is because, like I said, I ordered quite a few things. So these should be coming in the mail this week, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really happy to have my stash back. The only problem is that now I want to knit all the things, and yeah, well, I'm not really sure if I can or if I should, or if I should maybe just finish some things first and do some Christmas knitting and be good. So I'm not quite sure about that. My stomach's been playing up a little bit as well since we got home, but that's probably just also sort of like the jet lag and everything. It was really fun. We obviously left Thailand where it was really hot. I think we had like 30 degrees pretty much all the time. And we got back and it was 1 degree. So that was really, really freezing, especially because when we came from the airport, I was wearing tights and sort of like very, very loose cotton pants on top and like 3 t-shirts and a jacket. But we obviously didn't take our winter things with us because we would have been carrying them in our backpack. So that was very, very freezing. But now I feel like I've actually already kind of gotten used to the cold, and we took a couple of small walks yesterday, and it's so wintry, it's crazy. Like, we left and it was full autumn and it was beautiful. It was actually quite warm as well. And now it's definitely winter. Like, I missed the snow. There was actually snow here when I was gone. And now it's a little bit warmer, which is good for us. But it's wintry and the Christmas markets are starting and everyone is, decorating, and it just feels like a huge shift. I don't think I've had that extreme of a shift before, where you go from lying at the pool and sweating to Christmas. Like, that's a pretty harsh shift. And also, like, it's 5 weeks until Christmas. That's just kind of crazy. So we actually spent a lot of yesterday trying to sort things out, and we have a few little family trips and stuff planned. So I really annoyed my boyfriend, but I just wanted to get stuff organized. So we're booking trains, and now I have sort of an idea what's happening on which weekend. And we finally, like, there's always these tasks that you just leave and you just think, oh, I'll do it another time. And yesterday we just got some stuff done, which felt really good. We also came home to the realization that our oven doesn't work anymore. Like, I can cook and stuff because we have gas, but I can't make anything in the oven. And we've had issues with that before, so we need to get that fixed, which means we have to call our tenants and all that sort of stuff. And it's just kind of reality hit pretty hard. But yeah, I think we're getting stuff sorted out, and I'm sort of happy. I'm definitely happy to be home, but it's also, I imagine to be coming home and know what's going on with my studies. I expected to have my grade for my master thesis back by now, which I don't. I also expected to hear back from my job, which I haven't. They haven't, like, I had an interview before. So I expected that either way, I would either get the job and know about it and know what's going on, or I would not get it and then, have time to deal with it and move on. But now I still don't know, so that means that planning and everything is just that much harder. So fingers are still crossed, but unfortunately I don't have any news for you guys on that front. I would love to have some news. But yeah, so this week is probably just going to be, sending out job applications, getting our stuff in order. I have just a few errands that I need to run, and I am looking forward to knitting and crocheting. So I actually already yesterday, I watched so many podcasts, and I think that was the only thing that got me through the jet lag and through the day, because I really didn't want to go to sleep in the middle of the day and completely ruin everything that my body was trying to get used to. So I watched a lot of podcasts, and that was quite fun as well. A few people had asked me about Thailand. So one question was, do people knit in Thailand? I assume they do, but I didn't really do any research. What I did see was people crocheting like little animals. Like, quite a few people did that. And I mean, I guess it makes more sense. And it's a really warm country, so it's definitely not something that's widely done for sure. But I'm sure there are yarn shops there. I thought about going to a yarn shop in Bangkok, but it just turned out we didn't really have the time, and I didn't really need to buy yarn, so that was fun. Someone else asked about the language. Do you need to speak Thai in Thailand? Do I speak Thai, and so on? really you don't need to. With lots of like countries in Southeast Asia, like with a little bit of English, it all works out, and you just kind of learn to communicate with your hands and feet, and it's quite fun. I really enjoy it. Because I had been to Thailand before, I know a little bit. I was actually hoping that it would all come back because I used to kind of know a little bit more than I know now. But it didn't really come back to me as easily as I had hoped. But I can do like basic things like how much does this cost, or how are you, where are you from, what's your name, and I'm hot, I'm cold, I want to go to blah blah blah. But that's pretty much the limit of it. And also because the Thai has a different like letter system or script or whatever, there's no way I could ever read that. So yeah, but I do know a little bit, but it's not really necessary. I mean, as a Westerner, you're always going to get ripped off. And speaking a few words of Thai can help, but you're always going to pay the tourist price, and some things are just the way they are. So don't be worried about going to Thailand if you don't speak Thai. It's not, seriously, like, it's not a big deal at all. But anyways, I hope that was somewhat interesting to you. If you do have questions about our trip and what we did, or specific questions, please always feel free to ask me. Like I said, I've been to the north of Thailand before, and this time the south. We did take backpacks. I left with 6 kilos of luggage and came back with 8 because I did buy some clothes and stuff, but it was really, really good to have backpacks anyways, just because it just makes life so much easier. And that's why I didn't take crazy amounts of yarn as well, because I would have had to carry that around. So now I'm just completely rambling about Thailand and traveling, and like I said, if you have specific questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Just let me know. And otherwise, I hope that you enjoy the video that I've taken. Honestly, I'm not that great at taking video, and a lot of times it was sort of like hit and miss, and so some of the videos are quite shaky and they're not the best quality. I didn't do any sort of vlogging just because we were busy doing stuff, and I didn't really feel the need or have the time to do it. But I hope that you still can get some sort of impression of what it was like. And like I said, get back to me. I would love to hear from you in any way. If you want to message me, the best way to reach me is through Ravelry. If you just, my private Ravelry is Wupfi, which is Wuepfi. But you can also message me through Instagram, even though that will probably take me a little bit longer to see, because sometimes messages get thrown into the sort of unknown filter of spam filter or whatever, and so I don't always get a notification. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I can't wait to hear from you guys. Podcasting always is so much fun for me, and it gave me such a thrill today. Like, before I started, I was really tired, and I was like, should I really podcast or maybe wait? But no, I just feel so good, and I love talking to you guys, and I've really missed podcasting, and I love reading your comments on YouTube. It's like, we really making friends, and it's just so much fun, and I absolutely love our knitting community. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Have a wonderful week wherever you are. If it's going into winter and snow, then I'm so happy for you, because I love snow. And if you're going into the warm weather, I mean, that's also very nice. Enjoy your Christmas knitting. Have a good week. Happy knitting, everyone. Bye.
so cold tonight.